All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the end of an epic saga. The tale of Heron, the son of Zeus, finally conclude in this episode of the Temptress Podcast. Welcome everybody. As always, I am your host Jay, and joining me as always are my two friends Brian and Tony. How you doing tonight, guys?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
All right, well, guys, we did it. We finally get to fully complete a series. I think this is the first one with at least all three of us where this is one where we've covered all of the seasons and haven't had to skip an episode. So this is a historic one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And what a great series it is. I mean, Blood of Zeus just continuously got better and better as it went on, and we'll definitely get into that. It's gonna be a good one for sure. But of course, we can't start that just yet. We gotta kick off our episode as we always do by first jumping right into the news with Brian. Take it away, Brian.
Okay, so little peek behind the curtain. We did have to skip a week, so the news is going to seem even a bit older than before. But and we do have one in memoriam.
Okay.
It's not big, we have three sometimes, because death always comes in threes.
Mm-hmm.
But we only have one this time.
All right.
But it's a big one, especially in the comedy sitcom world.
Oh.
George went.
Name doesn't sound familiar.
Norm from Cheers.
Oh.
Dang.
Aw. Damn. God damn it.
Yep. But he was also big in films like Fletch, The Little Rascals, Spice World, and then also several other TV shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Frasier, obviously.
Yeah. 'Cause
Simpsons.
everybody forgets that Frasier is actually a Cheers spinoff. Not many people realize that because Frasier got so popular on its own.
Yeah. Funny how that works, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize this, but in 2008, he was on Broadway.
Oh.
Playing Edna Turnblad on Hairspray.
Nice.
Oh. That's awesome.
Yep. He was always a great presence no matter what he was in, but everyone will still remember him for being just the likable average guy, Norm.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I thought. At first I thought you were making a everybody knows his name joke.
Everyone did.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And for your average guy, Norman is a very fitting name for him.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, in that weird, Air Bud had those weird spin-off buddies.
Yeah, I remember some of those.
In Santa Buddies, he played Santa.
Oh, that's funny.
That was awesome.
It's funny though. When I hear the name Norman, I think of the Petalburg gym leader from Ruby and Sapphire, because he was the player character's dad.
Yeah, which, given the fact that particular generation's normal type gym leader had one of the strongest.
He was tough. He was tough, man. Slacking ain't no joke.
I know, but its base stat totals are higher than most pseudo legendary.
If it wasn't given the ass ability, it would be absolutely insane.
Wow.
But the thing that I want to point out is it's very absurd giving that man the name Norman when we have the most average motherfucker in Gen 9 with Larry.
Yeah, he would have definitely been more of a Norman. Although Larry is a pretty plain name. Although
true.
I feel if I was on the Pokemon localization team, I would have given him the name Joe.
Average Joe?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but back to this Norm. He was acting very recently, and he was on a recent season of The Masked Singer actually as a contestant.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
He was a moose.
Nice.
And also, he did continue to do a couple different Broadway stuff, in Broadway's Elf, he played Santa.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So, very talented, kind of underrated actor. He
Right.
will be missed.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Okay, so as far as the news goes, we have a few smaller tidbits from Marvel. So apparently Doomsday and Secret Wars are getting delayed.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I'd rather them get delayed
I
than
mean-
them rush out slop. So
But it's not a huge delay. It's
They moved release dates from their initial ones to ones in December.
okay.
for for Doomsday is going to be in December, and I think Secret Wars is coming out in 2027.
Yeah, December of 2027.
Yeah, and then smack dab between the two is going to be the new Spider-Man.
Nice.
And they also, when they announced it, they also, because, you know, Marvel likes to show their schedules, the schedule didn't show any of the, like, secret stuff that was in the work, or Armor Wars, or Blade, or any of the, like, quote-unquote untitled
Isn't Blade just on
Marvels.
indefinite hiatus, though? Didn't they say Blade is on indefinite hiatus?
It's one of those ones where they promise that it's still in development, but yet not.
I could have sworn there was like an official announcement that it was like in an indefinite hiatus.
Oh no, because I think Feige's trying to fight for it as much as he can.
I mean, at this point, I think it's best to just can the concept of the film and just kind of make a TV show at this point.
Make it a one-shot or a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, do it like Werewolf by
one thing.
Night. Yeah. Like, honestly, it's so weird. It's so weird that this is such a hard film to make, apparently, when it's really not.
No. Absolutely.
It's a motherfucker fighting vampires.
The last film that had this much like complication that I can remember from Marvel was the original Ant-Man.
Yeah, and that was because of like a bunch of director changes and shit.
Yeah.
Because the whole entire reason why we had Ant-Man in the first place
Was because Edgar Wright.
was because
Yeah.
Marvel came to Edgar Wright and said, "Hey, pick a character," and that's who we picked. But anyway, another note about this like schedule switch up, which also is kind of sad news that is promising to me, honestly, is the fact that after Fantastic Four, the next Marvel movie that we're going to be getting is going to be Doomsday.
That makes sense.
It is the long. I think they said that
Yeah, it's the
it is
longest
the
gap
longest
between MCU movies. I heard about that.
At the previous holder for it was between, I think it was No Way Home and Black Widow, and that was because of COVID.
Yeah.
But we also got two bits of interesting casting news. One of them Jay kind of spoiled in the chat, but Daredevil Born Again. We finally have confirmation at the Disney upfront that our girl Jessica Jones is returning.
Yeah. She will officially be in season 2.
Which also leads to the possibility that a few more Defenders could come back, and I hope to God they do.
Just one more. We just need one more. We don't need Iron Fist. You can stay home, Finn. We're cool.
Well, I think when Tony says that, he's also including like the Daughters of the Dragon.
Oh yeah, like Misty Knight. Okay, yeah, Misty Knight and Colleen. Yeah. I was just mostly making fun of Loras Tyrell.
Yeah, and also because she's included into the Defenders roster at this point, Echo's coming back too.
Does Echo count as a Defender?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess because she's tied to Kingpin. Yeah.
Yeah, she's actually in. When you look at Disney Plus, when it comes to the Marvel section, she's tossed in with the Defenders.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
You're right. Disney does group her in the Defender section.
Huh, interesting.
No, but
I would like to see her.
But it does make sense because she's connected to Kingpin that she would be in the Defender section because Kingpin is a like Defenders character. It sounds so weird to say Defenders and not be talking about Hulk. We talked about this last time with Thunderbolt, but it sounds so weird to talk about Defenders as a comic fan and be like, yeah, you know, the street level guys. I'm like, no, the Defenders were this weird like hodgepodge of randos.
Yeah.
It was the new Avengers that were the street level.
Yeah, but that name got taken.
Yeah, but yeah, so it'll be exciting to see Kristen Ritter back. She always does a great job as Jessica, even when the seasons weren't always the best. Season 3.
I will defend season 3. I like season 3 for the stuff that happened to Jessica. I do not like anything that had to do with Trish in season 3.
Exactly.
But I like all the stuff with actual Jessica.
But
terrible. Trish was terrible.
True. But
are we gonna get Trish back in the question? Actually, that also makes me think because that was kind of left hanging. Are we gonna get Trish back?
Oh shit!
I don't know. I hope not.
I do, just so we can get her back on the right path.
No, a crazy thought occurred to my little noggin.
I like the actress, and I think like if we could just slap some sense into her, she'll be good.
You know what they might do, gents? They might like throw her into like Kingpin's fucking task force.
I could see that.
Yeah, but I do also want to see.
Or she could make a random appearance in the Damian Hellstrom show.
Also true, yeah.
She was married to him in the comics.
I do also want to see Malcolm return.
Oh yeah, fucking Jack from SPD.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Or
Yep.
no, wait.
But our condolences do go out to him and his family, though.
No, wait, it wasn't Jack. It was the one from
Jack.
It was the one from RPM.
RPM.
It was RPM.
Yeah,
My bad.
His name was Scott.
Yeah.
His name was Scott.
His name was Scott. I was thinking of the other. I was thinking of another Red. My bad.
Dan Jay, the other Black Red.
There are multiple Black Reds. So you can't even play that. TJ also exists. So you can't even play me like that. Don't even try
For
me.
half season.
Don't even try me, Brian.
Zato too.
Zato counts as well.
I'm just playing with you, but so this doesn't go on for too long. Last one is last but not least, bit of interesting development from an unlikely place. X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
Joining next season will be Polaris.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Well, did you see who's voicing her?
I did not see who's voicing her.
Horror icon Nev Campbell.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You...
Horror.
Okay, because I was like, what, Brian? I was so confused. I was like, Brian, I don't know if you know what you just said.
I was like,
I said horror.
No, you said horror, bro.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I have it recorded, bro. You'll hear it in the playback. Tony.
Maybe I got a little mush mouthed with it, but I said horror.
No, you said horror, bro. Because Tony heard it too.
Brian, it was a little crunched together, so I decided, you know what, to help Brian out, horror.
No, that's why Tony enunciated. Because until Tony enunciated, I was like, Nani?
But horror icon Nev Campbell.
There we go.
So name still doesn't sound familiar. What have they done?
Scream.
Nev Camp. I'm not getting a face.
She is the Scream chick, the main character.
Oh, the main chick from Scream. Oh.
Yeah.
Got you. Oh, cool.
We're on our A game tonight, boys.
I hope that we get I want Wanda in X-Men 97. I know technically that universe has a Wanda, but we can just disregard Avengers United We Stand. Nobody cares about that one.
Really.
United We Stand is canon?
Yeah, it's in that universe.
Yeah, technically.
I didn't know that.
It's made by the same production team and everything. That's why they have the same voice actors. Like fucking Wolverine.
Huh.
Wolverine is the voice of Hawkeye in that for some god awful reason.
Yeah, and the crazy about that, in that particular version of the Marvel Universe, it would be funny. Not funny, funny.
But
the most.
But ironic funny.
Yeah.
Why do we sound the same? I don't know.
But no, the point I'm getting at here is that this is a universe where you have the most definitive, in a lot of people's opinions, I don't share this opinion, but the most definitive adaptation of Spider-Man sharing a universe with the West Coast Avengers who have to wear power suits. Because Power Rangers was the cultural zeitgeist.
And you gotta sell them toys, bro. You gotta sell them toys.
Yeah, you gotta sell them toys.
And also,
the
also,
Metal Man had to have power armor.
Well, Iron Man wasn't in the.
No, I'm talking about Vision.
Oh yeah, Vision did have power armor, didn't he? Oh shit, you're right.
Android had powers.
And Hank had one of the weirdest characterizations I've ever seen. They made him a weird, inconsistent character amalgam of Steve and Tony.
Listen, I don't recall. It wasn't really a show that I watched back in the day. I remember.
I didn't watch it
Spider-Man.
as a kid. I went back late. Later in life. I think I was in middle school. and they had all the Marvel stuff on like repeat on one of those Disney blocks, like Jetix or whatever. And it came
Yeah,
on,
I
and I was
remember
like, "The fuck is this?"
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
Wanda had this like annoying ass. They tried to turn Wanda into Storm. Like, you know how Storm had this whole thing where she was like, "I call down the lightning" and all that stuff. Cool, whatever. Wanda's whole thing was, for some reason, she had a catchphrase whenever she used her powers, and she'd be like, "Winds of destiny change," and I'm like, who the fuck?
Like I see the logic, right? I see the logic. Like pseudo magic user, all that crazy stuff, right? Since they didn't really define her powers as magical back in the day,
Yeah.
it was more like probability.
Yeah.
So to give it that magic flair, she said things like an incantation.
Yeah, like, I
the-
understand, but it was just so dumb in practice. I don't get that show.
Mm.
Falcon didn't even want to be there. Falcon was like, "Can I go home now?"
Bro, I am done with this place. Sam was like, I want to leave this
But
place.
seriously, Clint was always so angry, and he was voiced by Wolverine, so it sounded even more
That's
angry.
why.
So, he sounded Australian. Like, I saw a video, like, years back talking about this show. He's like, why does Hawkeye sound Australian?
No, and like I saw this video. I saw a video talking about the show, and they had this hilarious headcanon of that, like, Wanda, Clint, and Wonder Man were in a love triangle.
I can see it.
But not in the way you think, where Clint and Simon are fighting for their affections. Wanda and Clint are fighting for Simon's affections in this love triangle, according to this YouTuber.
I can see that too.
And
Yeah.
and then when Simon got and then got replaced by Vision, like, Clint then just transferred his affection to the Vision, and the love triangle continued. It was weird. And then they showed clips, and I'm like, I can see this happening.
Yeah, but here's something, and I'll get into something really major that I watched for my screen time, because I have like these 2-hour, like hours long, like video essays talking about 2 different things that from the big 2 comic companies, and one of those is like dealing with a relationship from one of the big 2. And I'm like, working to this pairings, like, let the people have what they want, god damn it. Let people be LGBT, god damn it. Just let the characters, if it feels organic for that particular story, let it be organic.
Yep.
Let it be.
But yeah, it was.
But speaking of screen time,
I was gonna say, was that it for your news, Brian? Okay, cool. So,
yep.
I'll go ahead and start. We are jumping into Screen Time, which is the segment of the podcast where the guys and I all talk about the various pieces of media that we've consumed in between podcast episodes. That can include anything from TV shows we don't have time to cover, movies we don't have time to cover, books, comics, music, video games, stuff like that. So yeah, I'll start. I've gotten back into playing Insomniac Spider-Man 2. Because they finally patched the PC version to where it doesn't like fucking glitch every 5 seconds. I had to just wait a couple months, and I'm like, all right, it seems okay now. It's fun.
Nice.
It's fun. I still think they really rushed through the black suit story. And
Really?
yeah, they speed run that shit. Like, I really don't like. They don't give it enough time for like Pete to really like. It's almost Whiplash. Like one mission, he's just fine, and then all of a sudden he's just like, don't. I'll take care of this. It's just like, Peter, you okay? It's like, well, what happened, buddy? Like, you were just joking like 2 minutes ago. What the fuck? Where is this coming
Like,
from?
bro, like, why are you so mad right now? So angry.
Yeah, like it's weird, and then it's also, this game is mad old, but spoilers just in case. I don't like what they did with Harry, mostly because I don't like the fact that like when the suit first bonds with Harry, it's Harry sized. It looks kind of like Asian Venom. It's it's more lean and muscular. Cool. But then, for like no reason whatsoever, after they get the suit off of Pete, and then it rebonds with Harry, and then corrupts Harry, it becomes Eddie Brock size. And I'm
That
like,
makes no sense.
I'm like, wait though, you guys don't understand. The suit didn't turn into Eddie Brock size. Eddie Brock was just built like a brick shithouse.
Yeah, bro was just beefy motherfucker.
Yeah, like
He was like lifting cars without the symbiote.
yeah, they had to retcon. They had to retcon in that it gave you strength just to explain how Eddie Brock was doing all that shit.
No, listen. Eddie Brock, even though working for like the Daily Bugle,
Daily
you can
Globe,
kind of
actually, he was not working for the Bugle. That's actually something from the animated series that's been Mandela affected into people's memory. He worked for the Daily Globe.
But he's a newspaper guy.
Yeah.
That's
He's a loser reporter. Yes.
Yeah, built like a brick shit house.
For no goddamn reason.
Yeah, just able to lift motherfuckers, just curl them like they're irons.
Yep.
And you're telling me that man with muscles bigger than his fucking skull.
Man, it
has like
it's just crazy. Now, granted, like with Venom currently, even though it's bonded to MJ, it's Eddie Brock's side. But the way I see that is because the symbiote has a lot more sentience now. It's developed a lot more of her personality. I feel like that is just its preferred shape.
Yeah,
to be built like Eddie, because like Eddie is their favorite host.
Yeah, Eddie's like that one host that kind of vibed with it the most.
Yep.
I mean, it was bonded to Mac Gargan for a time.
Nobody remembers that, but yeah, I remember that when he was eating scrolls and shit. That was a
Mac Gargan, this poor fucker.
It's crazy times. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, it's fun. I honestly feel like, and maybe this is just me, I love Miles, but I feel like in Spider-Man 2, Miles is kind of an afterthought. Like, they should have honestly just made this a Pete game so that we could get more time with the black suit, and then just give Miles his own game, because Miles' game, as much as I hate the Tinkerer, I liked everything else about it. I feel like Miles can hold a game on his own.
Yeah, and in that particular universe, it would make sense for him to like have his own vibe when it comes to his own game, right?
Like I do like the system of switching back and forth and also teaming up on certain crimes and stuff. That's cool, but I didn't need like a whole Miles story to interrupt the symbiote stuff.
The concept of Pete trading Miles is cool, but that didn't even happen really in the comics.
No, but here's the thing, Brian. He doesn't even do it in the game. Part of Miles' story is that Pete's not answering his goddamn phone and not helping him.
Jesus.
Now, granted, it's because Pete is wrapped up in all this black suit shit, but which is why I'm like, you know what? You should have just have Miles have his own game.
Yeah. Have Pete be a like supporting cast member.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you should have just had Pete have a whole game dedicated to the black suit thing if you were really gonna go all in on the black suit, because this is one of the most seminal arcs in Spider-Man history. You can't just gloss over it. As much shit as you give Spider-Man 3 took its time with it. Like, they built that shit up.
Yeah, and even though Raimi didn't like the idea of using Venom in the third Raimi film, she made it work.
Yeah, but
it worked in the structure of the film itself.
But yeah, so I've been playing Spider-Man 2. I just finished up my stack of comics for the week. All some pretty good books. The Ultimates have gotten some pretty interesting developments, and they bypassed a trope that I thought they were gonna fall into, where I was like, oh my god, thank you, Jesus. So without giving away the plot too much, like Tony Ironlad finds out some stuff that Reed Doom has been doing behind the Ultimates' backs, and he calls Doom out on it, and then Doom is like, yeah, I did it, and then like he's like, I'm not gonna apologize for it, but I did it. I saved your lives. You're welcome. And you know, at first you think, oh no, this is gonna lead into a fight. They're gonna start like yelling at each other about lying and stuff. It's like, but Tony's just like, okay, cool. I wasn't here to put you on trial. I just wanted you to be out in the open about it so we could figure this out together. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, let's go.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Coincidentally, I watched a video like reading off this entire like issue, and I'm like, that didn't go the way that I expected.
I'm like, all right, let's go. You guys actually talk like adults. Let's do it.
Yeah, they used their words, Brian. They used words,
which never happens. especially in superhero comics, this never happens. I was totally expecting some kind of fight to break out. I was waiting for it, but it didn't happen. Now, a traitor was revealed, and I'm not gonna spoil who the traitor was, but I was like, oh damn, really? The ultimate universe in either iteration cannot give this character a break.
At least that particular character in this version of the Ultimate Universe.
I mean, yeah.
Fate.
Yeah, no. We'll see. Let's hope not. I hope not, but we'll see. I'll tell you when we record part 2, Brian, if you're curious. But yeah,
Okay.
that's but so that happened. And anything else I want to highlight in particular? I started listening to a new podcast that I found coincidentally advertised in the back of one of my comics. DC has started a new kind of like radio play, like almost audiobook style podcast, but it's called DC High Volume Batman.
Oh, really?
Where they essentially turn like these quintessential Batman stories into audio dramas. Like the first couple episodes were Year One, and I believe they're doing Dark Victory next and Long Halloween, like that kind of thing. It's really cool. I like it.
Like the works that really define
the character.
Batman.
Yeah. And I think they say they have plans to do it for other characters, but of course they're gonna start with Batman because Batman is the cash cow whose teat never runs out. You know, gotta milk the bat cow as much as we can.
Also, let's be honest, he has the most stories because of that too.
He does. I mean, the Elseworlds label might as well just be called the Batman label.
As of
Batman
right now,
and Friends.
Yeah.
No, I mean even if you look at back in the 90s, a good chunk of those Elseworlds stories are Batman related. There are some that feature different characters, but a good chunk of them are Batman. Now, as a Batman fan, I'm not complaining, but I will also acknowledge that like Batman monopolizes Elseworlds stories.
Well, that's because people want to tell interesting Batman stories, and you can't fault them for that.
Oh yeah, Batman is probably the most adaptable, which is why he's so easy to slot into all these different things. I'm really looking forward to the Tokusatsu Elseworld story, Batman Immortal. That they're gonna do soon. I'm really interested in that. But yeah. Oh, also, last thing I want to highlight. I've been taking a trip down memory lane, and I revisited a Yu-Gi-Oh series I haven't watched in a long time, and also I've never watched in Japanese. I'm watching Zexal right now. And Zexal is not as bad as I remember. I mean, it still has a rough beginning, but I love Shark. Shark and Kite make this show. I don't like Yuma. I don't like Yuma. I think Zexal was the beginning of my I don't like the protagonist.
Yeah.
I like Yusaku. I like Yusaku, so there's that.
Here's the thing about Yuma. I kind of see what they're trying to go for with Zexal.
Well, yeah,
because
it's a soft reboot / homage to the original Yu-Gi-Oh.
So they're trying to like kind of play Yuma off as this very like underdog character that doesn't know the rules of the game, and he's better. He does get better.
Oh yeah, he improves. It's very much like a Pokemon Horizon situation, which is why I wasn't mad at it when we get to a certain point. But like, it's a rough. Unlike Horizons, it's a rough journey to get there.
But Zexal has one of my favorite Yu-Gi villains ever.
I only know his English name. Vector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vector's cool as shit.
Vector is the most unhinged of the Barian Emperors.
And he's such a troll. His Japanese voice is great. I remember him in English, but his Japanese voice is great too.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a troll.
Like, some of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh villains are the types of villains that are either very calculating, very 4 steps ahead of the protagonists and their team, or they are the unhinged motherfuckers.
Also, before Zach Soul, I rewatched I rewatched GX's season 4. Well, I rewatched season 3 and season 4. And I really like. I love Yubel as a villain. I'll say it. Yubel's one of my favorites. Yubel is probably the most successful Yu-Gi-Oh villain. Period. She won technically. They won technically.
Well, here's the thing about Yubel in Japanese is a very they were both genders at the same time.
Yeah, that's why I switched to they. That's why I switched to they, because they're supposed to represent the like the hermaphroditic aspect of alchemy and fusion that GX is, you know.
Yeah, we're in the dub they made Yubel full female.
Yeah, because you know, early 2000s, I don't think they were ready for all that. So I kind of understand that one on 4Kids part.
I saw the logic behind it. That doesn't mean that it's not like. But the point I'm getting at here is like Yubel as a villain worked very well. And when they end up becoming a more heroic character, it's that satisfaction of like, that kind of character actually putting forth their best speech.
Jesus Christ, the total whiplash between seasons 2 and 3 of GX is crazy. Because like Judai for the first 2 seasons is your happy-go-lucky, like, you know, shonen protag guy, and then season 3 comes around, holy shit, this guy is brooding and serious all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's a lot of things when it comes to characterization, especially when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists. Yugi and Atem were the molds of like the baseline protagonist.
Oh yeah.
Where there's this like duality of personality. Atem was very to the mission, to the point. We get stuff done, albeit through disastrous means. We learned that with Raphael, with the Raphael duel, with Atem basically sacrificing everyone he cared. Including Yugi,
yeah.
And Yugi tries to see the best in people, which is great. And then you have Judai starting as a happy-go-lucky guy, but throughout the course of his series, he actually fights a literal beast of darkness.
It's a loss of innocence thing, and it also has to do with, it also explores something really interesting with the fact that, like, you know, everybody relies on this kid. All this weight is put on his shoulders, and he's just like, no, I'm fucking tired of this.
It's pressure. It's societal pressure, the fact that like the big bad of GX is the living embodiment of darkness itself.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I still think Yusei is probably my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist.
I don't like Yusei. I like his character journey, but him as a protagonist is the kind of protagonist that I don't latch on to.
Interesting.
Like, Yusei gives off he's a very selfless guy, but he's also the kind of character that is... Actually, here's the best way I could describe it. Because Yusaku suffers a very similar problem. These are two who are very powerful, very calculated individuals. Whereas Yusaku is both of them are traumatized individuals. Yusaku really leaned into his trauma and became very detached from everyone else who wants to focus on the mission to get solace.
Oh yeah, I actually really like Yusaku's character journey of like kind of him starting on the opposite end of the spectrum of most Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists, where like he's very like like you said, aloof, detached, closed off, and eventually he learns to embrace friendship.
Yeah, and
like for a good chunk of the first season, he actually operates a lot more like your standard rival character would. Like,
and Yusei, I think Yusei was better served. His character journey could have been better if he lost more time.
Oh yeah, I do agree that Yusei suffered from the like unbeatable Yugi protagonist trope a little too much, but like
Yusaku are very similar characters to that extent.
As I'm going back through the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, I'm like, you know, rediscovering all the stuff that I like. I am not looking forward to going back to Arc V, even though Arc V, because like I like Arc V for like the first chunk.
Like Arc 5 was supposed to be this big celebration of everything that came before, and Interestingly enough, the 6 Yu-Gi-Oh anime that had the same studio, because they all had the same
Yeah,
studio.
it was all Gallop. Yeah, it was all Gallop before until Sevens and then the other ones happened.
Yeah, so all the Gallop anime, each of them share parallels with each other, if you really think about it.
Oh, also, another thing I want to highlight from Screen Time. I saw this video that actually proposed a really interesting Yu-Gi-Oh theory. I do not remember the channel's name. I am so sorry, but they proposed a really interesting theory as to why the protagonist of each individual series was not featured in their respective dimension.
Yeah, I think that might be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything
I don't
video.
think no, it wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything. I definitely would have known it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything because I'm subbed to Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything. This was a new channel I had discovered recently. I don't remember what the channel's name is though, but the theory goes right that when Ray split the dimensions off into separated everything, she also separated Zark and merged the pieces of Zark that she separated with the protagonist.
Oh, interesting.
And so each protagonist, Yuya represents Standard, and he was merged with Yugi. And the really interesting part is why Yuri is the way he is, because the part of Zark merged with Judai, who has both Yubel and the Supreme King.
And Judai is one of the most powerful duelists in Duel Academy.
Yep. So that's why. And that was the fatal mistake that Ray made, was creating Yuri.
And having the future dimension, basically having the Yugi protagonist equivalent to essentially
the mustache man.
I mean, when you have Yuri as a character, adding a bit of Judai in there, who is a character more susceptible to darkness and evil.
Yep. It makes a lot of sense. And then if you look at the parallels between the protagonist and the the U-boys in particular, it's like, oh yeah, no, that actually checks out, and that explains why they didn't show up, and also it explains why certain characters had connections with some of the legacy characters and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll take that headcanon. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, with Yugo is the only outlier I see.
Yeah.
Which, here's the thing about that. Yugo is one of the densest out of the 4.
Oh, yeah.
He is the densest of the 4 U-boys.
For sure.
His deck is similar to Yusei's. It can function relatively similar, but in Ray's splitting, she basically dumped down Yusei.
she was like, all right, Yusei, you're too OP. We gotta take away some of your end points here, buddy.
Yeah, which is comical. And basically bumped up Yuma's competency when she was, which is hilarious.
Fucking yo, oh man, but honestly, late game Yuma was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, but I'm saying it boosted the competency.
Oh yeah.
It's like, if the universe is split into 4, that would mean it would be the characters at the very beginning of their respective.
Oh yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so it was a really interesting theory. I've been having a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh bug recently. That happens to me every few months. Where
I've been playing Master Duel again, so I throw that out there.
I've also been playing Master Duel again.
Oh, so you did that one dice?
Thing? I tried the dice event. It was actually kind of fun. I liked that it imposed the different rules and restrictions and stuff.
Fun little. And also, Maritza, who's gotten me far in that particular event, is so much fun.
I've also been trying to build a Primite Dark Magician deck since the Primite cards work really well with normal monster stuff. So I've been trying to fuck around with that, and it's been working out pretty decently. The deck cooks pretty well. I have a more pure Dark Magician so it's not as cheap, because a Primite Dark Magician I can just negate and you don't get to play.
You know what's the craziest thing? Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh news and all that stuff, Reiji got new cards with the newest set coming out of Japan.
There are new DDD cards?
Yes.
Do they have even more lawyer text? Because man, DDD cards are so fucking complicated.
And also, they gave Reiji his own equivalent to Supreme King Zark.
What? All right. Interesting.
Yes, it's D. So there are 4 Ds in this monster. 4 Ds.
Oh man, so they added an extra D. Dang.
Yeah, and this thing is a pendulum fusion. It's a pendulum fusion monster that you need to fuse all extra deck monsters. Pendulum, fusion, synchro, XCs. I think Link could be thrown in there, but it's basically his equivalent to Zark.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because the pendulum effect insane because it's a rank. It's a scale 13. Scale 13.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, like whatchamacallit? I'm also really looking forward to because the thing that sparked my re-interest in Yu-Gi-Oh was the fact that like, well, you had initially told me about this, but I did more research into the new DM support, and I'm like, oh man, when these new cards come in, my like normal pure Dark Magician deck is going to cook because the new Tamaya's fusions are kind of sick, and we actually have a good fusion card now with Gaze of Tamaya's, and I'm like, okay, we're cooking now. And then the Magician of Black Chaos retrain seems dope as fuck. I'm like, okay, I like all of this.
Yeah. Konami is going to just be cooking with these new cards.
Which is dope because Blue Eyes got a shit ton of support, like, you know, a couple years back with like Tyrant and Jet, all that shit. About time Dark Magician, you know, got their get back.
Now Blue Eyes has like an ultimate dragon for synchro, XCs, and fusion.
Yep.
Which is insanity.
Yep. Poor Red Eyes players. Just forever forgotten about.
Red Eyes.
The biggest boost Red Eyes players got was more of a boost to Dark Magician players.
Yeah.
Because Dragoon is more of a Dark Magician card.
Yeah, which is sad. So sad. Is that it, UJ?
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I've literally just been playing Yu-Gi-Oh and reading comics. I
would like to go next.
Sure.
So I'm gonna start with my big chonkers.
Okay.
Summarize them as best as I can. The first one is from Sir Superhero. He did a 2-hour-long video on the history of 2099.
Nice.
Starting with the 90s stuff, going into weird reboots in the 2000s to like the 2019.
Oh, I was gonna say,
official.
I was gonna say, did he cover the whole thing where Peter David had Miguel in in the 616? Like,
yeah,
that was around. Yeah.
It was actually Slot too.
Oh, it was Slot too. I know Peter David wrote the actual like the 2099 series or the Spider-Man 2099 when he got his own, because I know Slot brought him in and then David wrote the actual like Miguel ongoing.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That white suit is fire. I love the white suit.
Yeah, so here's that in particular, Jay. Slot basically introduced Miguel through basically a Back to the Future. But you know at what point Miguel traveled back in time?
What?
It was in the midpoint of 2099 before Doom became the US president.
Oh.
So he completely changed his timeline so that after Doom didn't happen.
Huh.
And the funniest stuff about that, like the current 2099 stuff that are more anthology books, you know how insane the 2099 is now, gents?
I mean, I know stuff from Rivals at the very least.
This isn't from Rivals. This is more absurd.
Okay.
Which one do you want me to start off with first? The more tame or the most insane?
Let's build it up. Let's start with tame and then go to the insane stuff.
Okay. So, tame. Remember the Avengers from Secret Wars Battle World?
Yeah.
So they are technically the Avengers of this new 2099 timeline.
Okay.
There are technically 2 Punishers, a new guy, and Jake Gallows.
Okay, Jake Gallows was the original one. Who's the new guy?
I don't remember his name, but he initially became the Punisher in these new like anthology miniseries, and he killed Gallows, and then Gallows became Punisher, but is part like robot.
All right.
Man-Thing became a techno-organic being that can erase information from technology.
Interesting.
Because he was mixed with celestial energy when he was attacked, because he worked for an information company that is a different company called Pixel.
All right.
So it's more of an ironic power boost. So Man-Thing is techno-organic, not supernatural, even though he's connected to the horror anthology. Miguel fought zombies with Moon Knight, which Moon Knight is basically Khonshu inhabiting the corpse of the previous Moon Knight.
Huh.
And he has his own moon base that's in the shape of a pyramid.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool as hell.
There is a Red Hulk that ate a part of Ego, the living planet, to fight Terrax.
Huh.
Terrax the Tamer, like former Herald of Galactus.
Yeah, he became Terrax the Planet Destroyer.
Oh, damn.
Wolverine is part of the Nova Corps.
That's cool as hell.
There is a Star-Lord, and she has kind of like a Tokusatsu-inspired suit.
Nice.
You can really tell it, which is awesome. And she also has a hammer that can smack people. She can smack people with. So they had some anthology, like the biggest anthology that's more on the space stuff is really cool because that interconnected story.
Since she has since she has a hammer, is she a Thorist? Like I know Thorism was like a big religion in.
Here's the crazy thing about that, and it was something that I didn't even realize while reading 2099, which I did, well, retroactively back in college when I started picking up 2099 stuff from my old comic shop before it closed. They actually worshipped superheroes as a religion.
Yeah.
Like all of the Marvel heroes from the heroic age.
See, I remember Thor being like having a cult.
That's a set of this big hero worship religion.
Oh, interesting.
A character called Barrio Man, who is basically a superhero reverend and a focal point to the community. And it really gave out the identities of these individuals because they always take memento by a different person when a Barrio Man died.
Interesting.
But I will get to the biggest thing that's happened because they didn't really mention space stuff in the 90s 2099 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the biggest thing. Like one of the biggest threats of the new 2099 is Dracula.
Oh.
But Dracula in space.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, because after a big fight... Oh, no. The thing that's tangentially related, there is a Silver Surfer. It's not Norrin Rad. It's a guy from Earth who made a deal with Mephisto to become a more demonically looking Silver Surfer.
So like a Ghost Rider Silver Surfer hybrid almost?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but it's
that's cool.
Mephisto's first appearance in comics because he was a Silver Surfer villain.
Yeah, that's true.
And Dracula was defeated because something happened to where all vampires had, like, in modern comics now, vampires have their own little nation, right?
Yeah, they do.
So that nation evaporated by a powerful solar weapon.
Well, damn.
So the refugees took Dracula, who was damaged, put him in a coffin with some of the soil from the homeland, shot him off into space, put him on the moon. And so the remaining vampires decided to just told Earth to fuck off and just go into space. So they have their own planet full of vampires.
Interesting.
And so Dracula's casket was found by these space pirates, which he fed on. They became his thralls, and he started beating the shit out of people.
Nice.
And so Dracula decided to come back, like, start a fight with space spiders, like space spider people, which the new 2099 Spider-Woman is a spider, like one of these spider people. Like, they're actually part spider.
Yeah. I figured that's what you meant.
And so, like, the ruler of these spider people said, fuck you, Dracula, tried to fight him. And realizing that, Dracula came from Earth because this spider leader, named Spiderside, by the way, took over the vampire world and decided, since Dracula originally came from Earth, I'm going to take over Earth too. So all of Earth's heroes, be they terrestrial or cosmic, decided to like join forces to beat up the spider guy and fight Dracula at the same time. It took like the new supercharged Silver Surfer to basically fend off against space Dracula and hurl him further into space where he can't bother Earth again.
Oh, dang.
It is absurd. And there's a new like mini series that'll be coming out sometime this year that adds on to this new 2099 world. But one of the most absurd things is that Doom and Reed kind of did a fusion dance at some point that erased the concepts of heroes and all that stuff from this new reality, from this timeline. And since it was done through magic, that barrier started to fade and weaken. So they turned the heroic age into more like a functionally mythology. in the future. I mean, it was very similar to like the original 2099 universe in that sense, but it's like more of a updated version of that. Like, I highly recommend watching this 2-hour long video because full with really interesting information and interesting tidbits of the origins of some of these characters.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, that's a Search superhero video. Really well researched because there's like he had a friend who is like an expert on 2099 that helped him through the video process.
Nice.
And I'm like, cool. There were like gaps in my information, like the classic stuff, and I'm like, you know what? This really checks out. This is awesome. But the other thing is, our boy Anthony still cannot pronounce your surname. To save my life, sir, I apologize. He had a big video essay reacting to an individual's opinion on the Harley and Ivy relationship. And that's how it's not good for either of the characters.
It honestly isn't. I think I haven't seen the video of the reaction, but I think I've seen the video he's reacting to, and I agree. Honestly, it's not good for either of the characters because like now like the whole so like where I kind of stand on this is like Harley made that such a big stand with separating herself from the Joker, only to find herself a new obsession and a new relationship to be like entangled with, and it doesn't really improve her character. It's kind of left her stagnant, and it's kind of been my problem with Harley over the past decade.
Yeah, but here's the thing that I kind of picked up on from like the thumbnail itself. Kind of gave me a different sort of vibe than like it kind of gave off very like themselves sort of vibing, and I'm not okay with that kind of vibe.
Oh yeah.
And also misrepresenting information when Anthony pointed out like actual information, and it's like, yeah, I kind of agree with a lot of what Anthony is saying, but I do agree to an extent that there is character stagnation, but it's not in the way that a lot of people think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
what you were getting at, Jay.
Yeah, personally, Ivy's doing fine on her own. Ivy isn't even connected to Harley right now. Ivy's doing her own thing and doing a fantastic. But all the stuff where they involve her, like Harley and Ivy, especially like it's kind of been my problem with the animated series, is that like they're just really annoying. I'll give you an example, not like a direct example from them, but like the way I kind of view it is like, you know that like you've ever had those friends that are like a cute couple, but they're just really annoying together because they bring out kind of the worst parts of each other.
I see your point.
And
yeah.
It's like at first Harley and Ivy is super sweet and you totally get it, but like the more people do it, the more it's like, all right, I think you're missing the point now. Like,
yeah, the whole thing that gets me is that the video in question is just misrepresenting and kind of giving off a vibe of Harley is only at her best is she thing. Yeah.
I mean, like, the personal issue I have with Harley is that like they've stopped letting her be Harley and have turned her more into just Deadpool for DC.
Yeah, because one of the things that makes Harley so good, at least in my opinion, is like the fact that she is a former therapist, like psychologist.
That's the best part of the cartoon.
Smart.
That is the best part of the cartoon. All the time where she actually like helps out Bruce, the later seasons of the show more just lean into like zany bullshit, which like don't get me wrong, Kite Man Hell Yeah also leaned into zany bullshit, but like it has way more heart than Harley does. Harley's later seasons is just kind of like the worst kind of like Deadpool style low random humor. Like if you remember what it was like to read Deadpool in the early 2000s, a lot like that. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And I think that there could be a time where she does hit a stride where the Deadpool-isms can work. It's just at this moment right now, it's not working. And I think that you can't... Well, there's a facet of the characters that is fundamental to their character evolution, is that I would like people to be a bit more creative, not try to move backwards. Like what the video essayists that Anthony was critiquing their perspective on it. Like, Anthony explains it better than I could. Like, he actually goes... bit by bit and just presenting counter arguments to their arguments that are not, I'll say, not well researched, kind of off the cuff, very definitive in presenting information that you don't know much about. Like us here on the Challenge Chasers podcast, we can admit when we fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Hell,
100%.
I have a history of when I watch something a little too much, I kind of, to no fault of my own, pick up dialogue bar for bar. That's because it's drilled into my head, like the Casual Geo video. I know for a fact that I accidentally can lift things from the way he presented the best aura moments in the Animal Kingdom video. I lifted a lot of those like talking bits directly from his video. That's because so much of that video from different perspectives that dialogue is stuck in my head.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
And when you're trying to present your point and you don't do it with the best research that you have, like the most accurate information possible, you're kind of giving, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're presenting your points in a very disingenuous way.
Well, it's more so of like a non-objective, more completely subjective kind of thing. It's not presenting facts, it's just stating opinions.
Yeah, which conflating your own opinions as fact.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the issue that Anthony was kind of picking apart here, and actually having legit information to the best of his ability that he can find for research, and also like tearing down like Bruce Timm as a person because he did like erotica of the beast of the Women of DC.
I still me and Bruce Timm still have beef. I'm not gonna hold you. I will always have beef with Bruce Timm because
over like the Barbara thing.
Yes!
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm never letting that go because he puts that everywhere.
I agree with
everywhere.
I agree with you. Like
No. Well,
but the point I'm getting at
in Caped Crusader, it's more reasonable.
Well, yeah. This time he's not. Well, he's still gonna fuck. This time he's not fucking his best friend's daughter that he's known since she was a little girl and cucking his eldest son.
But here's the point. The point I'm getting at here is that you cannot fault an artist for drawing like not safe for work content.
That I don't care about. That I don't care about. I'm just upset that he endorsed a weird age gap relationship that also like is just fundamentally wrong on so many levels.
I agree with you, but the individual in question was using it as an attack against, using the erotica that he drew as a negative towards his character as a person.
Oh yeah, I understand. I was just saying I too have beef with Bruce Timm, but just not for that.
And the fact that she kind of gave off like relationships like this are bad because it's between two women, but other relationships are fine because it's straight.
Ah, it's one of those.
Yep. Like she's okay. I mean, this particular person, she is in agreement with everybody that she hates Paul. So calling Ivy and Harley Quinn the worst comic relationship when MJ and Paul...
MJ and Paul exist. Oh, but by the way, read All New Venom because you get to see Paul suffer. It's great.
Oh yeah, but my point is, like, there are vibes that are coming off of this particular creator that are just like, you're being obvious without saying it.
Oh yeah, I mean, that tends to happen.
Yeah, and for me, let characters be gay if they are, like, or if it's organic enough to have it happen, just let it be the case. I mean, both characters are bisexual, and having them like each other for a good period of time, that's fine. Who fundamentally gives a shit about us, like comic book fans? We don't care. We have our own various opinions on things. We may not agree a lot of the time, but when it's something small, when it comes to relationships between characters, like between fictional characters, does it really matter? No. Do we get invested in relationships? Absolutely. Jay, the last I reported, went on a bit of a tirade about Tim Drake.
Listen, man, Tim. I won't let that go. I won't let that go. Bernard, you're not a bad character. You're okay. You're just really bland, and I miss Stephanie.
Yeah, But you talk about like fans being outrageous and like age gap stuff. Found out today that apparently there are some people who hate Husker Dusk because they say that there's an age gap.
They're in hell. Why does it matter?
But Husk
What
is a lot more older than Angel Dust.
I
so,
say again, they're in hell. Why does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
and they're both consenting adults who met when they were adults.
I would say they're not children, so it's fine.
And it's not like Twilight, where an immortal being
Who looks like a 16-year-old is older than his love interest, which is fucked.
Yep.
But the point
On a baby.
but not as fucked as a Jacob imprinting on a baby.
Oh, imprinting on a baby. I was just about to say the imprinting on a baby.
Yeah, and I watched another one of Anthony's videos when he had a little panel talking about creators that make works that are great, but the creators themselves are terrible people.
Yeah, that tends to happen a lot.
And the panel kind of came to this conclusion of, as long as you're aware that the creators are terrible people, that shouldn't stop you from liking what you like.
Oh yeah, I mean shit.
And
I still have my set of Harry Potter books. Fuck J.K. Rowling, but these books meant a lot to me throughout my entire childhood. I'm not gonna fucking burn something that was formative and important to me.
Am I gonna buy any new Harry Potter merch? No.
We
Get rid of what you already have.
And it was also kind of my reasoning for streaming Hogwarts Legacy back in those days too. Was like, yeah, all right, J.K. Rowling sucks, but also this world means a lot to me. I'm here for this world. I'm not here for her. I am here because I want to live out a dream I've had since I was 10 years old.
But
Be a fucking wizard.
Another creator that's a terrible person, even at the point of his life, Lovecraft. Lovecraft created a lot of seminal works when it comes to horror.
Oh yeah, terrible.
Even though he's just the biggest racist piece of shit, even for his time period, he's a big racist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the only thing is because we're in a weird spot now with J.K. Rowling, where actively buying like her stuff will fund her and give her more money to do horrible things.
Mm.
I agree with you, Brian, but the point of being at here is that, like, here's another example with Gaiman.
Yep, I was just about to say.
He has one of my favorite interpretations of the Snow White story that I've ever seen. Do I like him as a person? No. I find him terrible. But the works that he has created, I actually really enjoy.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love Sandman, and I will always love Sandman. But yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, it's kind of because I had a small conversation with myself to kind of work through the process after mostly listening to this video. It led me to remembering Stan, Ditko, like a lot of the Marvel artists and writers, like a lot of the comic creators that fundamentally gave us the characters that we lived through, that we love and adore. But these were men who were flawed, very flawed individuals.
Oh yeah.
And even though we can make jokes about it, we don't agree with the viewpoints of some of the creators, Ditko, do we like the works that they helped create? Yes, absolutely. And it led me to this conclusion. As a creative myself, I want to make stuff that people can enjoy. People can like me, people can hate me. But as long as they like my work, I'm satisfied.
I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day, right? Like, that's the whole thing about like separating art from the artist. Like, it's a tricky subject because it all depends. Like music, it gets really tricky, right? Because like certain things, like for example, like somebody like R. Kelly. The reason you can't really play R. Kelly's music is because like now you know the context for a lot of the music, and it just feels wrong. But you can, but you can listen. Like, you can listen to like, I listen to Chris Brown still. Chris Brown has been through a lot of shit. But I still listen to his music. There are a lot of people who have been terrible, but I can still listen to their music as long as my whole thing is, if the music is not connected to their crime, I can separate.
Hell, a music artist that is a fundamental part of my taste in music, because they just became a facet closest to my life in terms of musically, Michael Jackson. All the works of Michael Jackson kind of fundamentally shaped music taste.
Now, to be fair, Michael Jackson was proven innocent, so he didn't do any of that shit. So
yeah,
that's fine.
I know, I'm aware of that too. He was innocent, but the point that I'm getting at here, to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, Jay, you can like an artist that have had reputations that are dragged through the mud for either things that they did or they were accused of doing and proven innocent. Hell, an actor that we all agree was like the best thing to come out of objectively the worst Ant-Man movie, Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors.
And
he and Cassidy made that movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. And to kind of add on another thing before I go to this next thing, because it actually dovetails nicely into my last one I want to talk about, which, quick sidebar, Brian, Jay, after our big epic discussion, I decided to kind of take a plunge to try, listen to Troy's music. Holy shit!
Yeah, I've been following Troy for a while. I found Troy on TikTok. In fact, Brian was the one who showed me the epic stuff through Troy's TikTok, and I was like, I didn't know Troy was in this, and it's just like, oh shit, yeah,
dude,
he's great.
Yeah,
Leo is a bop. It is my bop. It just exemplifies, and I love it. I play that song every so often. So
the thing that I like about his what's it called? Series?
Yeah, the Zodiac Sign series.
Zodiac series, yeah. Is
Zodiac.
that he didn't just do what he typically thought would be stereotypical for the signs. No, he asked his followers with those signs who their favorite artists are, and got a vibe from all of it before doing the songs.
Yeah, it's really creative.
Yeah, from Leo is a very JT pop boy feel, and I loved it. It is the vibe that I get from Leos. I mean, Brian and I are Leos, if I remember correctly. Wait,
yep.
Well, at least I'm a Leo, but
I'm a Leo.
Oh, you are? Okay, just want to make sure, because you're before mine, right?
Yeah, because y'all are born in the same month. Brian's birthday is early in the month, and yours is in the middle.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because there are cutoffs in the Zodiac, so I just wanted, because my brain doesn't want to get some things wrong.
Even though it's not my sign, Sagittarius is also an extreme bop.
Sagittarius is a very good one too.
I'll listen to that as soon as I can, but
I haven't actually listened to the Aries one. I need to see what the Aries one sounds like.
But back to my main point, we should also let the things that we love become a facet of our personality.
I mean, we can. It's just don't let it be your whole personality.
Yeah, it's basically you can have the things that you love, but don't make it 100% yourself, because if you learn that the person who created that is a terrible person, that makes you question yourself, and you go into this rudderless state where you're not sure who you are anymore. So it's a healthy degree of separation, which dovetails into the most recent episode of Gojuture, where the object of your obsession or your wish, if you don't complete it in a certain way, it corrupts you, because we're getting a two-parter for Goju Tyranno, because he never had a focus episode. He hasn't had focus at all until this point. So the most recent episode that's going to be coming out tomorrow, it may have come out today as of the recording of this episode in Japan, he comes from a rich family, and he decided to just forego going down his own family path and decided to choose something for himself to worship Tegasor, become a priest of Tegasor. So his family has the wish to bring him back home and takes the form of a universal warrior, is Red Racer. Or, for those who know Power Rangers, it is the Red Turbo Ranger.
Yep.
And this maid has the most powerful ability. She can stop things in motion.
Oh, dang.
With the sound of a whistle, because Car Ranger was more of a traffic safety series. It was more so comedy and a more comedic tinge. All the main five were just these absurd people, and the main focus was traffic safety. So making a maid focused on protecting her young master with the stopping opponents from the blow of a whistle, and having her wish being corrupted because Goju Tyranno says, "No, I am not going back with you, no matter what you say." to the point where she gets an evil form, which basically amounts to like a red jacket and a spiked bat, and becomes like a Yankee caricature.
Oh, nice.
Since he's not going to go willingly, she's going to beat the shit out of him, take his ring, and drop him back up.
Well, shit.
Oh.
And there's a lot of implication because I won't be able to watch the episode subbed until much later into the next week, so probably around Tuesday or Wednesday. I won't know the context completely, but there's a little bit more to her bringing Ryugi back home than her initial mission from her boss. There's like a childhood friend angle going on here.
Okay.
Like maybe unrequited love, like she loves Ryugi since they grew up together, that kind of thing. I won't know for sure until like later next week.
Okay.
But I'll keep you guys did.
Interesting.
Goju has been awesome so far.
Nice.
So yeah, Brian.
Oh, before we jump to Brian, there is something I forgot that I want to mention that I did check out that I want to highlight. I caught up on Lazarus, the Shinichiro Watanabe anime that's on Adult Swim / Max, and it's really good. They're about I believe the episodes come on Max on Sundays, so it's not, the newest one isn't out yet. So I think they're only, I want to say it's 7 right now. It's either 6 or 7, one of those. I don't remember. I watched them all at once. But it's a really interesting series. Essentially, if you hadn't seen the trailer, well, they don't really tell you too much in the trailer, but basically, this is a world where they have invented like a miracle drug that takes away all kinds of pain, not only physical but psychological, all this stuff. No more war, no more pain, all that stuff. And then the pharmaceutical company who created said drug realized, hey guys, everybody who took this drug Hepna, you guys only have, I don't remember the time frame, but they have like X amount of time to live. And
it's already been X amount of time.
Yeah,
so clock's ticking.
Yeah, so there's a ticking clock, and your main crew is basically trying to figure out like how to reverse it. But the interesting thing, besides all the cool action and shit, like the actual interesting part about it is it's really, let me tell you, this show is too real, bro. The show is too real because it focuses on like a world where people have just constantly just kind of numbed themselves with distractions and like have like, you know, haven't really taken the time to like embrace the pain that they feel and actually try to heal from it. And the consequences of, well, you can't run from it now, so what you gonna do, bitch? And it's just like, oh, I thought this was just gonna be a cool action show. I didn't know this was gonna get real. It's really good. Like, again, it's a Watanabe show, so the real plot is probably not going to get revealed until the last 3 episodes, because that's how it always goes. If you look at Cowboy Bebop, it's all just completely episodic until the last 3 episodes. Same with Carol and Tuesday. Same with Kids on the Slope. That's just how Watanabe does his shit. So I'm interested to see how it wraps up. We're definitely going to cover it because like this is a show I want to talk about for sure. But
one more thing,
it's really good.
It came back to me. I saw the most entertaining pitch for an absolute Green Arrow.
Okay.
So, Jay, Brian, what do you think is the most fundamental thing that makes Ollie Ollie?
Being rich and trapped on an island for X amount of time.
Take away the island, what do you get?
Rich spoiled brat.
And take that rich spoiled brat and teach him how to learn to be a hero because he did heroism for fun.
Oh, interesting. He's just doing it as a hobby.
And then,
like, hey, that looked cool.
So the reason why I bring it up is from a YouTube channel. I know his first name, I think it's Troy.
Oh, Troy Boyo 17. Troy Boyo 17. I love that guy.
Yeah, he threw his pitch for Absolute Green Arrow, and I actually really like the idea. It's so good.
His pitch videos are really cool. He's done a lot of really interesting pitch videos. He's done a whole thing about like how he would introduce the X-Men, and I thought that was really interesting.
Oh, yeah, I watched that too. It was so good. And also, 2 videos that really caught my attention were his, like, these 2, like, the hot takes.
Oh, I watched the Batman hot takes one. The Batman hot takes one was great.
Yeah, it's so absurd. Like, people out here really be crazy.
Oh, man.
Like, there's this one, like, post that someone made that he picked up, like, he pulled out from the
Mhm.
And it's like all the various members of the Bat family, like who stays, who goes.
Damien
And
can go. Damien can go.
No, apparently this individual wanted Damien to stay.
Oh well, I don't agree with that. Damien.
This is also this individual who made this chart said Dick should just go the way of the dodo.
What?
What? The best member of the family?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and
Why? Is there a reason for this?
it was just an image that this person posted that Troy found.
No Nightwing. What? There is no Bat family without Nightwing.
Like apparently, like there's like a handful, like maybe at least 3 people other than Bruce that has to stay to just trim the fat of the Bat family.
I agree that you should trim the fat. Like, I honestly, hot take. I'll throw this hot take out there. And this is...
No, that's from a Nitrix Nate video, I think.
Oh yeah,
Like-
Natrix Nate. Okay, yep.
I think that was from that video. I just got my wires crossed because the unpopular opinion videos from Troy and Nitrix Nate.
Nate also did a hot takes video, but I'm gonna throw out a hot take here. I think Jason should have stayed dead.
And Troy agrees with you. I'm of the opinion that give Jason something else to
No,
do.
but here's the reason why I think Jason should have stayed dead. Because writers just keep putting him through the same cycle over and over again. And that's why I'm mad. I'm so mad at Batman Hattush. Batman Hattush pissed me the fuck off because all of a sudden, Jason, we're just doing the same thing again where Jason's like, oh, you're helping the Joker? I gotta fight you, Batman. Fuck you. God damn it, Jason. We just got cool again. What the fuck? Why do we keep doing this? Every 6 months, you have to find a reason to punch your dad in the face.
And you know what's the most crazy thing to me?
Now, to be fair,
Well,
Bruce was also dumb in Hattush as well, because Bruce shot Jason in the face.
God.
Hattush is weird. I don't like Hattush.
Yeah, but this.
And if you guys are curious, I'm referring to Batman Hush 2, but it's spelled H2SH, so I called it Hattush.
Ah.
Yeah, that's so dumb. But my thing is, and I think either Nate or Troy made this point, I can't remember which at this point, but somebody made the point of like, just put Jason in a different city, make a new city, give it to Jason.
They had a good thing going on with the Outlaws, man. Artemis, and Bizarro were cool. Or just him and Roy. I don't care. Give him a friend. Just give him a friend. Just give him a friend. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
But anywho, Brian.
Yeah. Now you, Brian. I'm sorry. We talked so much time.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, continue. Most of the stuff is just continuing things that I've already talked about, but like the podcast Kill Every Monster. So I will say that one thing that I like about this is that I hadn't mentioned before is that sometimes the PC will be a repeat character if they live.
Cool.
Like one of them is a paladin where we see like him in the different stages of his life as he like downfalls from being a paladin and then like goes on this desperate plea to like get the power back and how that'll turn him into a villain. And like just like these mini like stories, because apparently all of these one shots are like set in the same world.
Oh, cool.
So sometimes characters and PCs will return. But you don't need to like keep up with everything in order to listen to every episode, a single episode.
More characters, so they're gonna watch everything.
But then also Free Rend, keeping up with that. Think I'm nearing the end. They're currently in the maze.
Oh, nice.
Dungeon. Yep. And I got to see the origins of the infamous lewd photo.
Oh,
Free Rend with the mimic.
yeah, that has been repurposed in several places.
Yeah.
I mean, the only like lewdest thing that comes close to that is her holding up object like this women truly desire.
But yeah, so that's really good, and I really like it. And who knows, maybe when season 2 finally comes out, we can cover it for the pod. Then watched last week's and today as a recordings episodes of Doctor Who. The last one was the Eurovision one.
Oh, cool.
Where it's like intergalactic Eurovision.
Mm-hmm.
Went places I did not expect. And had some like things that the fans have been begging for a while now.
Nice.
Including some answers to Miss Flood.
Woo.
In one previous episode, we got to see a little bit of the Doctor's rage, which I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
In this episode, we get to see like Shooty embrace the unhinged rage that the Doctor can have sometimes,
Oh, so like Matt Smith type shit.
and Peter Capaldi type shit.
Capaldi definitely Capaldi as much, but I think Matt is definitely more known for.
Also, Tennant had some as well.
Yeah, it had not as much, but like I don't know. Matt is more memorable for me, like in terms of just unhinged anger.
Yeah. Well, so that was really good. This
But I guess you look
this
you always look angry if you don't have eyebrows, so maybe.
Today's episode can't really talk about because spoilers, and it's the first part of the 2-part finale.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really talk about it at all without spoiling.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I will say that everything has been leading up to this season, and I really liked it. And I will take this moment to talk about something that's been pissing me off about the Doctor Who fandom.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, why does Doctor Who have to get political? Bitch, Doctor Who has been political since the beginning.
So these are probably the same people who complain about comics being political, and I'm like, hey.
The very first episode of Doctor Who deals with a bad dictator in caveman times.
The very first comic of Captain America is him punching Hitler in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you go back and you watch Russell T Davies' first run, he had a lot of political episodes. Like, hell, that one like episode where he tackled Big Brother and like how reality TV is rotting our brain. And
I mean, even though he got a lot of flack for it, the Martha stuff, like that
Yeah.
like, you know, that tackled something important. It wasn't necessarily the best handled, but he tried.
which even he's admitted now that it's not the best. And the thing is now in his new run, when he wants to tackle these issues, he'll bring in people connected to those communities instead of trying to speak for those communities.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm really liking this new season of Doctor Who, even though it's been very polarizing. I think that it could be better than last season.
Interesting.
But the last thing that I want to talk about is Dropout. Latest episode of Game Changer happened, and this one was an interesting one. The name of the episode is Crowd Control. And this episode opens up with Sam behind the stage, black and white, with nondescript jazz music playing in the background, and then he opens a curtain to a live audience. It's a crowd work stand-up special episode.
Oh, nice.
Where trying to pit 3 stand-up comedians against each other to see who can do the best crowd work.
Oh, cool.
And giving them prompts like people wearing shirts saying like, ask me about my this and that, prompts. But then halfway during the episode, the few people that weren't wearing shirts take off their jackets and they're wearing red shirts. These red shirts are more sensitive stuff like ask me about my childhood or my addiction, and it's like testing these guys to see if they can handle deeper stuff and make it funny.
Okay.
Like the childhood one included her having a run-in with a serial killer.
Oh shit.
As a kid, but it was really funny and fun. Like I said, the contestants weren't your normal Dropout cast members. They were all stand-up comedians, known for crowd work. Jeff or Curry, who didn't really know. Jay, you're gonna know this guy because you've talked to me about him before.
Josh? Was it Josh Johnson?
Yup.
I love Josh.
He's on this episode.
He's great.
Yeah.
I watch his videos all the time. He does these great like topical stand-up specials where he'll talk about like the news and shit.
Yeah, and it's clear that he's not as used to crowd work as the other guys, but he's also just genuinely a nice guy. So
His
very much.
his delivery reminds me a lot of like early stand-up child of Donald Glover. He gives me Donald Glover vibes.
I can see that. And then the last contestant is a stand-up comedian that I follow online as well because I follow Josh too. But don't know if you follow him. He's been everywhere on TikTok. John Marco Sorcy.
That name sounds familiar.
He's like a dark humor, crowd work type comedian of Italian descent. He's Jewish Italian, and he's not afraid to make dark jokes, but like in a kind, respectful way. I mean, not in a kind way, but in a respectful way, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I know we don't like to get political here, but these are also 3 stand-up comedians that, let's just say, didn't drink the Kool-Aid during a certain time, like a lot of other stand-up comedians.
I mean, yeah.
Didn't sell out, but anyway, it was a very fun episode. Highly recommend it. And it was also interesting because this was the first time that a Game Changer was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because they had all the people in there in the audience, and they all had like interesting stories. Like one of the older guys was a certified nudist, and then
you have to be certified to be a nudist?
I don't know. And then there was a woman there who was a Satanist.
What are the qualifications to be certified to be a nudist? This is stuck in my like what? Like you have to like upkeep yourself.
Like what?
I'm like, what is the certification process to be a nudist? Don't you just have to like walk around without your clothes on?
I don't know.
You have to be certified?
You have to like have papers for that? What the fuck?
That just sounds so weird to me. Oh yeah, no, don't worry, my dick is out because I'm a certified nudist. I'm not just an exhibitionist. I'm a certified nudist. My dick is allowed to be out.
Yeah,
I'm certified.
Then a woman who is a former cokehead, but she said that one of her proudest moments was the fact that during her whole entire time for 6 years being coked up, she never had to pay once for her coke.
Oh, nice.
Because she said she worked the girls and like lived with a lot of shitty boyfriends. But clean now. But yeah, it was a really funny episode. Highly recommend it. This season of Game Changer is on another level.
All right, cool. Now we are gonna move on to trailer talk. After I think on record longest screen time ever. I'm sorry, that's me and Tony's fault. We yapped quite a bit. But
I don't know, because the Thunderbolts one was
I will tell you
long.
right now, we're almost to 2 hours.
We are Yap Kings.
So yeah, longest on record. But yeah, this trailer talk, you guys know what it is. It'll be your acting trailers. There'll be some ups and downs for sure, because these ones we had to save from last week because there are some big ones. So we'll be back with the magic of editing. You know all the usual. Please enjoy this word from our usual our non-existent sponsors. We'll be back in a sec. And we're back. Okay, so decent batch of trailers. Some really good, some kind of just okay. Nothing bad. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about Superman, the final trailer. I'm so excited for this movie. I'm so excited for this movie. I'm on it. So I'm more excited for Fantastic Four than I am for Superman, but that's only because they fucked up Fantastic Four way more than they fucked up Superman.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've at least had good adaptations of Superman in other places. I have not had good adaptations of Fantastic Four in other places.
I mean, even just very recently with Superman and Lois.
That's what I'm saying. Superman and Lois, My Adventures even, you know? So, like, I'm not, like, in a hurry to see another great adaptation of Superman because I've already gotten a taste of that. I haven't gotten good Fantastic Four in over a decade, so, like...
Outside of animated.
Even animated, it's been over 10 years. we haven't seen the Fantastic Four in anything animated since World's Greatest Heroes, which was over 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, for real. Which that series is highly underrated. If you haven't seen Fantastic Four: World's Greatest Heroes, you definitely should. It's great.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, so I like it. Everything looks great.
Threw me off that Lois already knows.
Yeah, right. Like usually, and honestly, I'm kind of happy because it gets rid of this whole thing of Ace Reporter is complete dumbass. Although to be fair, she's not actually a complete dumbass. Clark actually puts in a lot of work to put in that disguise. It's not just a pair of glasses, you guys. There is actually more to the glasses and stuff, but that's really nerdy stuff. On the surface, normal people would think, oh, it's just a pair of glasses. But yeah, Crypto looks good also, and it was cool seeing like Flag and getting to see the bits of like Metamorpho and Guy. Also, I didn't talk about it when we were reacting to it, but was it just me, or did his construct not come out of his ring? That threw me off. It just kind of appeared. It didn't come out of the ring. Like, that's weird to me as a Green Lantern person.
Yeah, some Green Lanterns actually can materialize objects and whatnot without even needing it to come from the ring.
No, but like in the comics though, I've never seen it. I've never seen the construct. The construct's always, the origin point of the construct always emanates from the ring.
Yeah, but for some Green Lanterns, they are so powerful that they don't even need the constructs themselves to be tethered by the ring.
I've never seen.
For example,
I've never seen that.
John's done that. Yeah, John Stewart's done that.
No, I don't remember ever seeing the construct never at least like come out of the ring.
Yeah, John created so many guns that they are not tethered by the ring.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And of course it's guns.
Well, yeah, he's a military dude.
Yeah, and
just like Hal makes planes.
Yeah, think of it like this. Not like, depending on how powerful a Green Lantern is their construct's ability to be tethered by the ring. And Guy is one of those one of the more powerful human Green Lanterns.
Oh, that's fair.
So it's just kind of showing a bit of a flex that he's the kind of Green Lantern that doesn't need his constructs to be constantly tethered by his ring.
No, that's fair. It just threw me off. I was just like, huh. I thought I might have been seeing something wrong.
No, I'm just explaining to you because I had this explained to me relatively recently that not every construct can be connected to the ring.
Huh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Like the construct before.
You would have think I would.
You always learn something new.
Huh. You would have thought you would have think I've seen that. I've read all of Jeff Johns' run over that whole 10-year period. Huh.
Yeah, crazy.
Weird.
But there are little things that kind of fall through.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, we got to see inside of Mr. Terrific's little ship.
Yeah, he looks really good.
I agree with that.
I'm glad to see that actor getting some respect because honestly, he was one of the best parts of Twilight.
And I'm glad to finally see a more comic accurate Mr. Terrific suit. I love Echo Kellum, but that Arrow suit wasn't it.
No.
Well, that's the thing is he also wasn't Michael.
Oh, I know, he was Curtis, Michael's brother, but still.
No, so I'm saying that we still hadn't even seen like the Michael version yet of Terrific.
And this is Michael Holmes.
Yeah, it is Michael.
So,
yeah. So that's
we're just saying that in the Arrowverse, he was his brother Curtis Holmes.
Yep. But yeah, so again, can't wait for this. July is gonna be a fucking packed month.
Oh yeah, it's likely going to be a movie spectacular for our podcast.
Oh yeah.
But switching gears entirely. Oh, what fun!
Why?
The Christmas movie.
Why? Why? And like, this isn't me saying the movie's bad. I'm saying, why release this teaser for a Christmas movie in fucking June? Like, it pretty much June.
No.
Like, it technically came out in May-ish, but it's almost June, practically June. By the time you're watching this, listeners, it'll be June.
Now, if they had shown it in July, at least you have the whole Christmas in July.
Yeah.
But
June, still, I find that kind of ridiculous and stupid.
Yeah, it just feels weird. Now, like, addressing the movie itself, it looks fun, and the cast is stacked.
Yeah, it's directed by Michael Showalter. He's worked on Wet Hot American Summer, but he's also directed good rom-coms like The Big Sick.
Oh, nice.
The Lovebirds, which
Oh, the Issa
Don't
Rae
know if
one.
you've
Yeah,
heard-
I've seen Lovebirds. It's
Yeah.
the Issa Rae one with doesn't that also have Camille Nanjiani in it?
Yep. Then I didn't watch it, but I heard good things. Spoiler alert. That's the one with Jim Parsons, where it's a Christmas movie where the boyfriend has cancer and is dying.
And the movie's called Spoiler Alert.
Yep.
Oh.
And then the movie The Idea of You that came out last year, starring Anne Hathaway.
Oh, is that the one? Is that the one with the where like based off the One Direction fan fiction?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Written by a middle-aged woman who went to a One Direction concert.
And fell in love with Harry Styles.
So she wrote this fanfic.
Okay.
But yeah. Also, you couldn't really tell from the trailer, but the plot of the film is that Claire, Michelle Pfeiffer's character, she makes the Christmas magic every year for her family, but her children and grandchildren don't realize the effort that it takes until she goes missing.
Ah.
Yeah, when a family member is so like instrumental in creating holiday magic, that when they're gone, either by passings or through extra peculiar means, i.e., being kidnapped, shit's going to be really weird and fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep, and it looks like it's going to be like the age-old thing of appreciate what you got, don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some pretty good luck with Christmas movies, to be honest. Like, the ones that we've covered have been pretty good.
At least it's gonna come out in December.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was like, don't tell me they're putting out a Christmas movie in the summer. Why the fuck is this here?
Like, are you trying to get us hyped early for Christmas? Let me have my summer, goddammit.
I'm already in one of those families that like starts like prepping for Christmas early, like right after Thanksgiving type beat. But like, even me, I'm like, no, this is not the time. I love Christmas, but this is not the time.
This is not the way.
You should
Definitely not the way.
You should not be able to wear shorts and celebrate Christmas.
Yeah,
You
that's
hear
just
that,
weird.
Florida
Absurd.
weather?
Oh yeah, I forgot about you, Brian. My bad. But anyways, moving on. Next one. What do we want to talk about next?
The last movie on the list, Americana.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on here?
That was all over the place. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that one.
From what I can gather, it's basically characters focusing on grabbing some like
a Native American artifact was taken.
Yeah.
Was like swiped from an eccentric, somewhat racist collector.
Yeah.
Numerous people find their lives intertwined in a death match while fighting over an expensive ghost shirt.
It feels like a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, it also gives me like Tarantino vibes as well.
Yeah, it has like that weird kind of interconnected like Pulp Fiction Fargo kind of plot.
Well,
yeah,
apparently
absolutely.
This is a directorial debut. But the person has worked on TV before, like Poker Face, The Terror, something called Damnation. But what's really evident in watching the trailer, they also worked on Longmire. But you want to talk about another stacked cast?
Oh yeah, that one definitely has a stacked cast. It was weird seeing Sydney Sweeney dressed normal without having her titties out.
Yeah, it was like I thought it was a different actress entirely.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
It is
I tell you, when that movie comes out where she plays the female boxer, that one's gonna be even weirder.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sydney Sweeney, Paul Walter Hauser, which if that guy didn't look familiar to you, I, Tanya, he was the bodyguard.
Yep.
And one individual I knew right off the bat is Crow Daddy from Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, the long-haired dude.
Yep.
And also
talking to the white kid.
Oh man, that shit was hilarious.
Zahn McClarnon.
I believe so, yeah.
But But also freaking Halsey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one I didn't expect.
Bro, Halsey, they're like, hell, what?
Also, isn't she like?
I mean-
isn't she like sick? I thought she had like a. I thought she had like a some kind of autoimmune disease or something. I thought she was sick.
Damn, Jay, you're saying 6 people can't act?
I'm saying I didn't think sick people could be in a movie where you're so fucking active.
Well, I mean, we did dogpile on Brian. Maybe a little bit of like get back on Brian's head would be bouncing everything out.
She was diagnosed last year
Oh, okay.
of lupus.
Oh.
Okay. I was like, I was like, I swear I remember like part of the album rollout was her talking about like having an autoimmune disease.
And
Well,
it's not like actors like that can't take breaks in between action scenes, and stuff doubles are a thing, you
Oh,
know?
yeah, that is true. Some doubles do exist.
Yeah, she also her character gave off vibes of that one chick that I can't remember her name, but she played a lot of crazy punk chicks in the like early 2000s.
Yeah,
Like The Craft.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, Brian, but what reminded me the most is like this type of character gives off like Ripley from Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get
Like
away
it-
from him, you bitch.
Yeah, pretty
Oh.
much. Where she's like, yeah, I'm having to shoot out with random motherfuckers.
Trying to save this racist little kid who thinks that he's possessed by the spirit of.
No, he is saying like he is one with the spirit.
He's not. I don't think that's racist. I just think he's the appropriate term is cultural.
Yeah, like the young guy here is taking his like genealogy results a little too seriously.
He's pulling a Dale Gribble.
Yes,
In the episode where John Redcorn, you guys remember the episode of King of the Hill where John Redcorn was trying to
Yeah.
like low-key explain Joseph's heritage to Joseph, and Dale took it the wrong way, and Dale thought he
Yeah.
was Native American. That's the vibe I got.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's the kind
Oh,
of vibe
yeah.
I got too. It's look, there's a bit of everyone's ancestry that's a bit muddied, especially if you have a lighter skin tone. Like Brian and myself. But when you know like a good chunk of your ancestry, it's best not to try to like overinflate your connection to that heritage when
Yeah.
it hasn't played a factor in your life at all.
I mean, look at all the shit Haley Steinfeld got for Sinners. And
Oh.
her shit is a lot more prominent than most of these people claiming to be part Native American.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, the movie looks interesting, but probably not going to cover it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we will probably cover, though, much to my chagrin, is Ironheart.
Yeah. Yep. Welcome to Derry, Maine.
Oh, we were talking about
Oh.
Welcome to. I skipped over Welcome to Derry. My bad. Yeah, Welcome to Derry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely covering Welcome to. I hope it. So my thing with Welcome to Derry, I really hope this isn't a Welcome to Castle Rock situation, or Castle Rock situation. Because Castle Rock was really good until the very end of that first season.
Yeah, well, here's the thing of what my understanding at least. Well, Brian mentioned it a little bit while we were talking about the trailers. But it's set in the
The It
film
duology.
duology.
Yeah, the It duology.
Yeah. Since it's taking place during that period of time, it still kind of fits with the 27-year gaps in between.
Yeah.
So it's like with it set in 1961, I believe, for this series.
Hmm.
The events of the first It film didn't take place until like the 80s.
Yeah. So that
And then it was-
that lined up time frame wise.
Yeah, and this is more of a prequel telling its own story set in the playhouse of King's work. You can kind of get away with some of that stuff, maybe tell a little bit of the backstories that were only mentioned in the book that they didn't get to in the main film.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff in the book because they do a lot of like research and like old town records and stuff. There's a whole like meandering section where they talk about stuff that happened in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be like Tony won't get this, but more along the lines of Fear Street trilogy. Then
That I kind of get the idea, and it would be
Then,
more interesting to play with the ideas that, like I was mentioning, since the book itself is thick as fuck. I mean, the book you could smack someone over the head with it and kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
thicket.
I don't know how true this is, so take it with a grain of salt.
Mhm.
But I did hear somewhere that they are planning for It Welcome to Derry to be a 3-season TV show, and each season will be an anthology where they go back like that 20 years each time.
Okay, so this one's 61, and then they'll go back 27 years before that, 27 years before that. Interesting.
Yeah, so really playing up the time periods of like the big events.
And
of
also,
the
Derry is
history.
the epicenter to a lot of stuff in King's work, like Tony said. So, like, we could even see, like, notable places like Shawshank and things like that.
Well, not necessarily that. The book itself really explores this one small town in Maine. I think the entire state of Maine is more the focal point within King's written works.
No,
because...
but I'm saying
Yeah.
Derry. But I'm saying Derry is near Shawshank, so we could even see stuff like Shawshank.
Yeah, I know that's what you're getting at, but to give more context, the main crux of the universe is the Dark Tower itself, and
Well, yeah.
we don't have time to get into that shit.
Well, they tried.
No,
They
no.
tried, but it failed.
Yeah,
Well,
but
they're also trying again.
Oh, are they?
with Flanagan, yeah,
Ah,
Yeah, Mike
Flanagan's gonna be
Flanagan
giving it-
as a TV show.
interesting.
yeah, which I think would work much better
The
to
TV show
adapt.
definitely works better.
Adapt it
Yeah.
into each book into its own individual season, which I think would be the most beneficial part.
But yeah, back to this one. One of the things that really sells it, which apparently they had a hard time getting, was Bill Skarsgård returning as Pennywise.
God damn it, that man dared fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's great. He's great. The fact that they got didn't they get one of the Skarsgård brothers in Castle Rock, Brian?
I think so.
Like wasn't
I think it might have been him.
it was him, right? He was the crazy guy in the first season, yeah?
I think so.
That like everybody was theorizing was Pennywise, but then they like hard swerved.
Oh yeah, because Tony, you want to know who he was playing? He was playing just this rando nice guy who got turned crazy because he accidentally found
Yeah.
a rift between.
Like he looked
multiverse.
He looked into the deadlights essentially and then went insane. But yeah, so
That's all.
now talk about Ironheart. I'm not really looking forward to this. Like I'm looking forward to like the expansion of magic, but like I'll be honest with you, as much as I did not hate Riri Williams in Wakanda Forever, she was probably the least interesting part of that entire movie. So like I don't care about the character. I've never cared about the character. I don't know if I'm gonna be invested at all. I'm probably gonna be more invested in the stuff involving the Hood than Riri herself.
But I will say two things about the trailer. One, it didn't suck.
No.
And two, Riri does seem to have her own personality.
I don't know.
The silence is deafening.
I don't know. You're way more of an optimist than me, Brian. The thing that has me like really kind of like apprehensive about this one is that this is on record the shortest time between trailer and show release.
Yeah.
Like, so this feels like one of those ones where Marvel is just putting this out there because they have to put it out there. Because, like, even Agatha, which is something that we like, mind you, they put out the trailer way before the show before the show was out. Like, and they put effort into promoting it. They didn't put any effort into promoting this. This shows me Marvel has no faith in it, and they're just putting it out.
Yeah. Also, we didn't get a chance to see Sacha Baron Cohen, who is possibly playing Mephisto.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
I've also heard that he's going to be a physical embodiment of Dormammu.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I heard, too.
Dormammu is the source of the Hood's power, so makes sense.
But also, we might not cover it because of the timing,
Oh, thank God.
which also is a little discerning.
Oh.
Apparently, it is only 6 episodes, but they are releasing the first 3 at once.
Oh, they are really trying to just get this the fuck out of here.
And it starts in June 24th, which means that it's gonna be crossing with the finale comes out July 15th. So
Doesn't Fantastic Four?
When does,
Fantastic
FF
Four is
come
like
out?
Fantastic Four? I think is the 11th or something like that. Hold on, let's check the calendar.
I'm doing it now.
July
25th.
25th. Okay, so it's the week before Fantastic Four.
Yep, but who knows? We might have some something else, and who knows, it might not suck. We never know until we're gonna watch it.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it anyway, but I'm just saying I have no faith in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I tell you, something that I have complete faith in, but probably won't cover it unless part 2 changes some things, and that's our last trailer.
Oh, Sakamoto Days,
which
hell yeah.
was Sakamoto Days
Sakamoto Days
part 2.
Sakamoto Days is gonna be great, but like, one, nobody really watched it, so clearly none of y'all care.
Also, our podcast that we did after editing was like, what, an hour?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not really much, cause like, again, it's a very comedy focused series. There is a plot. Yes, there is a plot. Him fighting all the assassins and then like them targeting his family. Plot. But like, a lot of the big stuff is comedy focused, and we don't like to just spoil jokes and ruin jokes. It's not as funny. It's not. It kind of ruins the experience. So like, we're probably not gonna cover it and just talk about it as like a shared screen time thing. But I am looking forward to Sakamoto Days. All right, now we can move on to the main event, Blood of Zeus, the final season. Man, this season was great. This is probably the best. This show probably has the best opening to like an animated series season that I've seen in a minute. Those first 2 episodes were insane.
Oh boy.
It was you guys, audience, it was legit so good that when I started it, I just didn't go to sleep. I did one sitting and just finished it.
I would have done one sitting, but my sleep schedule was messed up that day, so.
And the reason
I did it in 2.
And the reason I could do one sitting was because it was only 6 or 8, one of those 2. I think it was 8.
8.
Yeah, it was 8 episodes, so it's an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl binge watch.
Yeah, 8 20-something minute episodes.
Yep. I think the last one was 30 plus minutes, but yeah, most of them are 20 something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super quick, but also very tight, efficient storytelling. It didn't feel like there was any not a wasted breath, like no filler for real. They just kept going on all cylinders.
Like the Energizer Bunny.
Everything was wrapped up nicely without feeling rushed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like, as someone that really enjoys Greek mythology, I like what they explored in terms of the growth and evolution of the gods and the whole idea of perpetuating and breaking cycles of fate. And like, that's as vague as I can get with it without getting into spoilers.
I will say that one of the cool things about this show in general that season 3 continues is that it remembers that it is a Greek tragedy. Emphasis on tragedy.
Oh yeah, it plays into a lot of the classic tropes that you would expect from like, a Greek myth, and it does it really well. Like, I wouldn't say anything was entirely predictable either. Like, there were definitely stuff that caught me off guard. So like, I think it's definitely enjoyable. If you guys like the first 2 seasons, you definitely owe it to yourself to finish it out. If you haven't seen this show at all, you should definitely watch it. It's great. Wonderful story from beginning to end.
I gotta tell you, right now, fans of Greek mythology are eating good.
Oh yeah. As a fan of Greek mythology, I can agree wholeheartedly.
Between this and Epic.
The Percy Jackson Disney Plus show.
And also the Christopher Nolan adaptation of Odyssey coming up.
Yep, Stray Gods. We're eating good various places. But yeah, all right. Now we'll go ahead and just hop into that spoiler discussion. You have been warned. I really like what they did here. I especially enjoy the idea of like accepting the flaws within people and learning to forgive, grow, and move on. We get that from a lot of the various players, but none more so than Hera and Zeus. I really like what was done here, especially with how full circle it is, given how the show started with Hera and all her machinations in the first season, which leads to, Heron's life being ruined and stuff like that. All of Zeus's bullshit that fucked with Seraphim's life. and all that stuff. I also really appreciate like Hera also like just growing further as a person by realizing like that if her sons could put their differences aside and work together, like there is hope for the rest of us. Which I gotta say, usually I hate Ares because Ares is usually a little baby bitch, but Ares earned my respect. He went out of his way to help his brother.
And he stayed true to who he was till the bitter end.
Yeah, and I respect the fuck out of that. And again, like it might this just feels like a really fucked up trend for Aphrodite because this happened to her in Stray Gods as well. But like her realizing like that Hephaestus really did love her and care about her, you know, by like, you know, pushing her out of the way and like protecting her even though she did him dirty constantly while getting dirty with his brother. But yeah,
Nope.
I thought that was great. Like,
Also, it was to a lesser extent with the whole Hera thing, but we also had like a bit of the like humility and realized what he's done with Hades.
oh, for sure. And like Hades taking responsibility as well, and also Demeter like owning up to, all right, I fucked up.
Yup.
Let me clean up my mess. I shouldn't have done this. And her paying the consequences for her action, losing Persephone, and her being like, shit, if she was able to get into the underworld, she would have been safe.
Yup. And also, that whole ties into like still, while being like this bigger story, still ties into the greater overall like themes of Greek mythology. Because
because
her whole entire thing was protecting her daughter. So of course, the actions that she made to protect her daughter ended up being the actions that led to her daughter's death.
Yep. And I mean, like, I think this is one of those series that gets Greek mythology better than a lot of Greek mythology adaptations, because one of the constants and the big things about Greek mythology is the fact that the ancient Greeks humanized their gods. They made their gods like people so that they could understand these higher concepts and forces. And so their gods made the same mistakes people would. And so like you get to see that all throughout here, and it's really nice to see that they're also capable of change and growth. And like Zeus of all people, Zeus had this moment of I realized, you know, that I did wrong, you know, I hope you can forgive me. And it wasn't just one of those like please forgive me because of the moment. Like he genuinely had like remorse and empathy. But I also really appreciate that Hera had this moment when she talked to Heron's mother, and she's like, I didn't realize that, you know, I was so focused on helping you be the king that you were meant to be and like the rightful king, that I never loved you as you, and that's what you needed.
They really humanize the gods even more than they are initially in mythology.
Yeah, that's an angle.
Yeah.
That's an angle that I really like, and like it honestly inspired me a little bit. That was honestly where like I told you when we were writing our stuff for the Wonder Woman story that we were cooking up fanfiction wise, Tony. That was the angle on Zeus that I was talking about.
I mean, Blood of Zeus has been working with this idea of making Zeus a very flawed character, which, well, it's not excusing the behavior that Zeus in mythology has done.
And that's what I appreciate about it, right? It doesn't sand away any of the edges. He still did all those horrible things, and he still acknowledges he was a horrible person. But like, you know, like to tie it back to epic, like Odysseus said to Athena, the gods live forever. They have time to make the world better and make themselves better. So like I like they embrace that.
Yep.
Well, unless those gods are thrown into like a pit that erases the very concept of them out of existence.
Which that was terrifying. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was, but also it brought out like the real side of these gods and like helped with their humanity. Like Hephaestus, the one god that's probably been shit on the most by his fellow gods, gods, still telling them not to tell and that it'll be okay.
I like that he looked Hades in the eyes and was like, it's okay. And like, you could really tell, because Hades and Hephaestus have a really good relationship. He felt so bad. He's like, I actually like that guy.
Yep, I actually like that nephew.
He's one of the good ones. Oh, man. And like, I will always give Blood of Zeus bonus points for actually having Hades and Persephone be in a loving relationship. And it not being this kind of over-exaggerated kidnapping, rape narrative that, you know, popularized through various interpretations of the myth. Because like, Hades isn't this like devil character. He's honestly the most chill out of the three brothers, to be honest with you. Which, by the way, seeing the three sons of Kronos working together was some of the coolest shit. That was awesome.
And then also just like to see like the preamble to that, which is Zeus doing his like humility tour.
Yeah.
Being like, brother, can you trust me again? And like, fuck yeah.
I love that shit. I love that shit. Also, I gotta say, man, Papa Kronos really brought it. He had presence.
Damn, Alfred
Molina just like was on some next level shit.
Like, it was weird because his portrayal of Kronos was like so emotional, but also aggressive at the same time.
Oh yeah, and I also like that, like, you know, Kronos gets defeated in the end because he tries to do what Kronos has always tried to do. He tried to cheat fate, and that's what fucked him up.
Yeah.
Also, I appreciate
his humorous.
And I also appreciate that this show did not give the heroes plot armor.
Yeah.
Like, Heron still dies. Seraphim still dies.
Yeah. And I like that moment where they have the
reunion with the mom. That was super sweet.
But also, I was also talking about like how Heron himself had the like what if scene.
With Alexia, yeah.
But also when he was with Alexia and imagining that, he's like, also I do realize that
you'd never break your vow, yeah.
And I would never ask you to. So they have that nice like sweet moment where they kiss and realize that it'll never be.
But they still love each other, which I thought was nice.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a very wholesome moment before death kind of situation.
Yeah.
Where you really take into perspective the people you've met along the way, along your journey, and how they really affected you.
I also really feel bad for the priestess. Man, that poor priestess.
Oh yeah. Also in this show, one of the things that we really like to highlight sometimes is like facial acting when we see it. The animators, they brought in really good facial acting, just animation.
Oh yeah.
Like at the end during that final fight, like that whole conversation that Heron had with Hera.
Yep.
And like just like the looks back and forth and just like, well shit, I know what I'm gonna have to do.
Oh man, and just the moment of Heron's sacrifice, how much weight that gave, and then like Zeus seeing that all the way from the underworld, and then just being like, what was that?
Well,
if I had to
that's
guess,
also part of the whole that was also part of the whole Greek tragedy like thing, is that happened right as Zeus stepped out of the underworld.
Yep.
So the minute they stepped out, he looked over and saw his son die.
And Zeus had so much hope for Heron. He believed that Heron could be the better version of him, you know? And to have that just taken away by the same person who, you know, tried to ruin him and his siblings' lives, it's just like, shit.
Yeah. Also, kudos with the whole thing of like part of who he was, and like of course he'd feel this way. That Heron never thought that he was the chosen one that they were talking about.
Which he technically wasn't.
Yep.
Seraphim was the one in the end.
Yep. So he was right.
Which is great, because like that's the thing about you can never read a prophecy straight, and that was the problem they had. They were reading it straight. They thought, oh yeah, it's Heron because Heron's the good guy.
Well, also, if I'm not mistaken, it's another case of like the Odysseus one where it was a double meaning because Heron was the hero and Seraphim was the chosen one.
Yeah, was the one prophesized. Yep.
So they were both technically prophesized, but in different ways.
Yep. Also, shout out to my guy Hermes for surviving all the way, and like he had some really cool moments. The effect for his super speed was so clean.
Which you know, funnily enough, shown up so much on our show lately,
right?
apparently.
Speedsters are just
Matthew
everywhere.
Mercer.
Yeah, right.
Mercer just likes us for whatever reason.
I guess so.
Yup.
I mean, you do bring up CR, anytime there's new stuff. So maybe that's just him returning the favor.
Well, also,
like giving
he's
us
a
good
good voice
content.
actor in general.
Oh yeah, he is super prolific. So you can't really escape Mercer for real.
Yeah, oh, you want some good content? Here, have a nibble.
Yep.
Which I do like it, Jay. You kind of joked and said that you can't get Troy Baker.
Yeah. No,
Nowadays.
he is. We have Troy Baker at home. Like that's no diss to Matt. Matt's great, but like he is the Troy Baker fill-in actor.
Which is funny though, because I'm pretty sure they're friends.
They are
IRL.
for sure. But yeah. So I guess unless anybody has anything further to add, we can jump to final thoughts and rating.
Well, it's a great story, but it's harder to tell. But I will say one other thing that I liked about this is while embracing this more epic like tale and how it's been gradually increasing over the seasons, they still didn't forget like what the core show was about initially, which was Heron and these group of like human adventurers.
I did like his adventure party. His adventuring party did have one last hurrah. The fact that Ilios actually came back. Jason Mara's character.
Oh yeah, and we finally got a backstory for
Kofi.
what's his
Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi.
Kofi.
Yeah.
My man
Kofi.
Kofi.
Poor
Rest in peace, Kofi.
Like,
Yeah.
he was really the GOAT.
He was
in that
the
whole
goat.
moment.
He was.
He was him at that moment.
And I love that moment. Like, it's time for me to join my wife. I was like, let's go, Kofi. You're a real one.
Yeah, but
And
for
God,
me,
when you finally found out the significance of the necklace.
Yeah, right?
and it makes me wonder. What kind of civilization Kofi and his wife were originally.
I also
Definitely,
I also wonder, right? He like spent a good chunk of his time in Greece, but like, and he acknowledges the Greek gods obviously because he's met them in person. But does he go to the Greek afterlife?
Part of me is thinking that he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying, right? Because
And
like,
I'm kind of thinking that he'd be more tied to his.
yeah, because he's likely from an African nation, so like whatever like afterlife or civil kind of like situation they believe in, that's where he'd end up.
Yeah, because I don't know about the Greeks. Because I do know that in Norse mythology, non-Norse can go to Valhalla, but I don't know about Greek.
Well,
I mean,
it's never
parts of the underworld are primarily focused around where your social status was.
Yeah, social status and your deed.
Yeah,
mostly.
and when you are someone who is heroic, you could go to Elysium, but I think Kofi would choose to join his wife in their own culture.
Yeah, that's
rights.
yeah, that's what I'm
True.
thinking. Like he probably has passage because he died in service to the Greek gods in a way. But I think he would have made the choice to cross over to his culture's afterlife so that he could be
True.
with his wife.
Yeah, he was like, this was fun, y'all, but it's time for me to actually be with my wife. Peace.
I also like the moment of like Alexia being like, not you. I forgot that's the same name as the device. I like the moment.
Version of the name.
But I like the moment where she was like, yeah, I felt his soul pass through me, but unlike my men, I didn't feel agony, pain, or regret. He felt at peace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go. Good for you, Kofi. You earned
Indeed, and
Yeah.
also to the vein, like speaking about her, is I like the fact that that we talked about how our lead two brothers died. In a similar vein, I also like that not everybody died.
that. Yeah, she still lived
Yeah, and Ilios's bitch ass
somehow.
survived so much.
Somehow.
Like, bro has
Even after
survived
being
so much.
the reluctant shield bearer.
My man is a cockroach.
Yeah, bro is just like, man, I have to survive through all this bullshit. When I want to leave, they keep pulling me back in. I hate them.
I almost
But
got
I
killed.
have no
I almost got killed by my sexy Dionysus cult lady, Dionysus cult leader X. So I guess I owe them.
And my
And,
homie died because of my other friend.
And now nobody's gonna stand up for my friend's brother to be his shield bearer. So fuck it, I guess I gotta.
Kofi would have done it, but Kofi's not here, so I guess.
It just proves to me that even though some motherfuckers ain't shit, when push comes to shove, at least one out of the 17 these types of characters will actually just pull through.
Yeah, they'll at least step up if they need to, if absolutely necessary. But
Yeah.
final thoughts and ratings, because I don't want to just go into plot. I just felt like it'd be best if we just talked about the themes and stuff, and I feel like we covered everything.
Nah, I feel you.
I agree with that.
So
Just talk about like plot themes and just things overall in general that we liked.
Yep. So yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. Like looking at this as a whole, especially looking at the complete story, giving this a 10. Like it's not perfect from an objective standpoint, but it did everything it set out to do and more. And I feel like it also improved and changed aspects that I feel like enhanced the story.
I agree with that.
And everything was so tight and concise, and I appreciate it. Nothing felt wasted. So yeah, sticking with a 10. Go ahead, Tony.
Actually, I'm right there with you, Jay. I would give this a 10 as well, like taking everything into consideration. The way I see it is that they had to up the scale a bit with every season when they want to kind of push the envelope. And pushing the envelope to its furthest extent with bringing in Cronus, trying to basically set rule back to the Titans, and getting like a top tier actor to voice the big bad of this particular season was perfect. And characters ultimately learn from their mistakes in this particular series, which is a great thing.
Yeah, like is the story basic? Yeah. Is the story something we've seen before? Yeah. But
Absolutely.
it's done in a way that's like different, and it enhances the story. And like you said, characters learn and grow, which is so rare for Greeks.
Like, and sure, there are some characters like Gaia that, even though she felt insulted, she tried her best to acclimate to the newest things in society, but she ultimately just kind of regressed back to her son's ways.
And that
Not looking to her son
happens
or-
sometimes. And like that's part of the humanization process we talked about before. And like we didn't talk about it as much, but like she even like had that moment where she came to Kronos' cell and looked at her son in the face and was like, "Could you forgive me?" And Kronos was just like, "Nah."
No, that was actually, she was also talking to Zeus about that
she
too.
did that to Zeus as well, but she also had that conversation with Kronos also.
Yeah, Kronos was like, well, I've been in this prison for so long, I gained a new perspective. And he was really one of those types of individuals that just really ruminated on one thing.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
just
I thought it.
the amount, the Titanic level of petty, pun fully intended, is respected.
He
But,
disrespected everybody.
Oh yeah.
But you
And
were
the way he died was actually very satisfying.
Oh, that was so cathartic.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
I said, the big three coming together. Oh, so
and then
good.
also that the weapon was a combined
Yep.
weapon of Heron and
Yep, Heron
Seraphim.
and Seraphim, which technically it's also a combined weapon of Zeus and Hades, because it's Hades' Biden and Zeus' sword.
Yeah, true that.
And then,
True that.
and then, the craziest thing about all of this, it took one man to basically detonate himself in a flash of light,
And blaze of
explode
glory.
like big suns, to just blast the head off of Typhon. So yeah, instead of being in prison, Typhon dead,
Oh yeah,
can't come back anymore.
he's dead as fuck. Somebody tell Echidna.
Which, if the story were to progress further, that would be interesting.
Oh yeah.
But I'm really glad though that the children of Hades and Persephone survived.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
though they're not mom anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad that it's around. I'm also glad they acknowledge that they exist. Like
Yeah.
Other than like
And
the
that-
Hades game.
Both
the
parents
Hades
loved
games are
them.
the only places where they acknowledge they exist. Modern adaptation wise.
Yeah.
But now they just have their single dad.
Yep. Hey, maybe him and Aphrodite's in the market for a husband. Shoot your shot, Hades.
Oh god.
Well, she doesn't have any restrictions.
She doesn't have a husband or a lover anymore.
No,
And
what I'm
she
saying
can
is,
come and go through the underworld.
well, like Aphrodite herself is.
Oh yeah. I know personality wise they wouldn't match at all. But I was just
No, what I'm
This is
saying is
mostly
that
just joke.
her position as a goddess is essentially she's a primordial goddess of
oh yeah.
the representation
she's-
of love, lust, and all that stuff.
she's-
She's older older
Yeah,
than
she's
all of them.
she's she's Titanic technically because she's a daughter of Uranus or Uranus.
Uranus,
If you wanna...
Uranus.
Yeah.
Technically, she wasn't directly.
Well, I mean, you know,
she came from the
she
sea foam that.
she came from the sea from his castrated private part. That counts.
Yeah, it still counts, but what I'm saying is that her divinity is more on par with like a primordial than like a Titan or a Olympian. And having her like remake into an older Olympian is hilarious to me.
I mean, like from a super nerdy perspective, it honestly makes the most sense for her to marry one of the chthonic deities as opposed to like one of the other newer ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
And the fact that she's the only one with like an unconventional hair color.
Yep.
That was a good touch.
Oh yeah. I really like all the god designs, by the way. We didn't really mention that too much, but all the god designs were top tier.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
and
right.
all right. Well, first of all, heading off about what you said, like the designs and everything were great. Like we mentioned this when we talked about season 2, but Hades and the fact that in canon Hades looked a lot like his brothers, but then the influence of Hades itself.
Yeah, the underworld, and it's like kind of like not eroded him, but like the weight of his position kind of took its toll.
Which, by the way, we also mentioned this in season 2, but I think even more so shines in season 3. Kudos to the GOAT, Fred Tatasciore.
Oh yeah, Fred Tatasciore as Hades was amazing. The emotional range he had was just so good.
Like when he was protecting his kids,
and then the soft moment where he gives them the sleeping potion.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what would you like to dream of, my girl? And it's just like, oh, such a good dad.
Yeah, he was. And just like that scene with him and Persephone where he kept telling her to run, go, run, and she's like, no, I've got to give him all the time.
But the part that really got me was like, you know, when like, you know, Cronus is holding her soul, and like she repeats like their little mantra, you know, two souls that are destined to be together shall never be apart. And I'm just like, oh
yeah. And also kudos to them because also I just realized this: the Greek gods love the like Greek tragedies and all that. They also love like ongoing like parallels in their stories.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny how the story of like Persephone's end mirrored Heron's at the end.
Yep. And also like Heron and Seraphim teaming up together very much mirrors Hades and Zeus teaming up together. Sorry, Poseidon, you're not included in this one. There wasn't a third brother.
Yep. But yeah, like you said though, Jay, the story is a little simplistic, and like from a like analysis point of view, it isn't perfect. And for me, a 10 is perfect. So I think honestly for me, give it a 9.5, which is still pretty damn good.
Understandable, dude. Understandable. Me and Tony are like mythology nerds. So like, you know, we are much more like cool with excusing certain things because of like other things they made up for. And like, again, this isn't to change your score, but honestly the reason I gave it a 10 wasn't just because I think it was perfect. I think it's perfect in the sense of completing this story, since this is the final season. That's where I kind of scaled the score off.
Which, by the way, I do have to say kudos to the storytellers for knowing when to end.
Yeah, and not overstaying the welcome, because the show is great, and it did really well in the ratings. They could have kept going, but they knew, no, we have a beginning, middle, and end here, and I appreciate that.
I mean, they were already renewed for season 3 before 2 even came out.
Yeah.
So clearly it was doing well, but they knew when they wanted to end, and so they did end. And I will say this:
I look forward to whatever studio puts out next. Yeah,
indeed, because oh my god, I think we could do a whole other podcast about talking about the possibilities.
Oh yeah, like I would love to see, like, even though they already have done like Netflix has already done a Norse mythology animated series with the what was that one called with the lady? You know what I'm talking about? We covered it.
What?
The Norse one with the lady.
Oh yeah, that one. I forgot forgot the name of it.
Female character was the lead. Loki like helped her out. Don't remember what it's called now. She's
I think
like
it's something of the gods.
Twilight of the Gods, I think maybe.
Yeah, Twilight of the
Twilight
Gods.
of-
I mean,
we
that's
got
what
there eventually.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's what
Ragnarok
that's
is
what
friends,
Ragnarok. Yeah, that's
like-
what Ragnarok translates to. So that makes sense. But yeah, Twilight of the
Yeah.
Gods. Like even though there's
Like-
already one out there, I would love to see their takes on other mythologies. Like Indian mythology is so crazy. Like I would love to see their take on Indian mythology.
Honestly,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what one I would prefer, because it's part of like the big three of known mythologies.
Oh,
Egyptian.
oh, Egyptian would be great.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Think
But
of
also-
the conflict between Horus,
Horus and
Set.
Set. Yeah, Horus and Set, classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it doesn't have
Or
to just strictly be something
the whole story of Osiris and Isis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or
something
you could just do
mythology
the,
based, because could you imagine them doing something in the DC magic realm?
Oh my god. Oh
That would
my
be sick.
god. Yeah.
that would
dude.
be sick.
Like Etrigan or Constantine?
You know, I want them to turn. I know the Absolute books are really new, but if they made animated series or animated movies for like Absolute Wonder Woman, if they did Absolute Wonder Woman like this, oh boy, oh boy.
They would cook with
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Indeed.
But yeah,
Yep.
so wonderful show. So glad we got to cover this final season. The journey is complete. So Brian, why don't you tell the lovely folks at home what they can expect from us next week, or should I say next time? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. On the Channel
Wink, wink.
Fishers podcast.
Eh?
Oh wait, no, it's after. No, that's the one after this one. After the next. Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, you
I-
got me a little confused.
I miscounted. I can't count. Ignore me.
No, what we're doing next time is we're going from talking about messy family drama in ancient Greece to talking about messy family drama in modern time. We are covering the Netflix miniseries Siren. We reacted to the trailer, Julianne Moore running a cult.
And is that's the one with Millie Alcock in it?
Yup.
Uh-huh. Okay. Gotcha.
She plays the younger sister that drank the Kool-Aid.
Yep. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely interested. This is definitely going to be messy. I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will catch you next week. Until then, peace.